Hey, on today's daily sprint, we're talking about increasing our purpose, passion, and meaning. And today's a tough one, but we're gonna work through this together. So today we're talking about, let me ask you something. You ever like go out with someone and they've got like this scar, maybe it's on their face, or maybe I've got some scars on my body. You're like, whoa. They're like, oh, let me tell you the story behind this scar. I was caught up in this mountain once and this lion came and it lashed at me and, it beat me up to the point I thought I was gonna die and the search and rescue people came, but I fought it off. And people love, particularly dudes, love to talk about their scars. And it's normally like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe you did that. It's joyful and you're like, you leave inspired. And you're like, honey, this guy had a scar and he had to fight off the lion. But what do we do when people talk about their wounds? So when they talk about their scars, we kind of like lift them up and we're like, wow, we're inspired. But if someone talks about their wound, like you see someone, come in and they got a broken leg. You're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I broke my leg, hurts, ow, I'm on these pain pills the doctor gave me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. I can't even believe what it would be like. So what am I saying here? If we as mentors want to lead other people, if we want to lead and help other human beings in life or into our business, we want to talk about how we're developing our scars, and we need to deal with our wounds. Because all scars started out as wounds. And sometimes we just get caught up in sharing that we're wounded. And it's okay to be vulnerable. But when we just say, I'm wounded, what are we gonna get? We're gonna get sympathy, we might get empathy, we're gonna be taking, and it's gonna feel probably good, okay? But we're not really doing anything to help another human being. So another way to do it is we can say, hey, I'm wounded. But I want to turn this wound into a scar. Our marriage is wounded right now. But we're getting into this marriage workshop. We're reading marriage books. And we're going to turn this into a scar. And then you're going to show people, they're going to see you go from wounded to scar. And you're going to pave the realm of possibility. The difference is, though, when you're wounded, okay, have your support groups. But your responsibility when you're wounded is to deal with that wound. Okay, if you're wounded financially, okay, the answer might be no to friends and family. They want to go out. Hey man, let's go out. Let's have a good time. The answer is no. I'm wounded financially. I need to fix this. I need to invest. I need to put more time into my business. Maybe you're wounded spiritually. You just haven't been to church in a bit. You're wounded spiritually. That's not the time to say, I'm going to stay out late Saturday. No, it's the time to call it early on Saturday. Get up. Deal with that wound. Okay, maybe you're wounded in a relationship, big time, gashing wound. It's time to go to therapy. It's time to deal with that wound. That is not selfish, because those wounds never become scars until they're dealt with. If you constantly are ripping open the same wounds, that's what you're labeled as now. You're labeled as this wounded person that can never share the story of how they became scarred and how they worked through the wounds, and then other people will follow you through that journey. So hopefully this made good sense to you. Share those scars, share the journey, and deal with the wounds and deal with them. There's an old saying, fail quickly. When you're wounded, heal, do things that help you heal as quickly as possible. Therapy, going all in on your faith, reading, podcasts, getting around the right people, getting around the right doctors, right? Okay, positive mindsets. Maybe the best thing a wounded person can do is find someone that has a scar where you're wounded. That person will help you heal much, much quicker than someone that maybe is wounded themselves, or maybe someone that's never dealt with that wound. That's why some of the best mentors in like Celebrate Recovery or Overcoming Addictions were former addicts themselves. They're scarred now, okay? And they help wounded people deal with that and take that journey into becoming a scarred person. Hopefully this makes sense. You have a great growth-driven rest of your day.